Welcome to another episode of Game Gear Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Gear library. Streets of Rage 2. Oh, you just love to see it. Let's cut to the chase. Streets of Rage 2 is the best beat-em-up ever made. Fantastic graphics that still hold up, amazing gameplay with a lot of varied moves and playstyles between the characters, and most importantly, what I think might be one of the greatest soundtracks in video game history. Sure, the difficulty is a bit high, but that's just what makes the game all the more rewarding to beat. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and played through Streets of Rage 2. It's probably in the hundreds, and hey, I probably won like 2 or 3 of those games. And with the game receiving universal acclaim, it was only a matter of time, specifically just under a year, before Sega attempted to capture lightning in a bottle again by porting the game to everyone's most beloved handheld, the Game Gear. So that's all well and good, but it begs the question, how do you do a downgrade port on such a classic? What made Streets of Rage 2 so amazing had a lot to do with it being a product of the Sega Genesis, and putting it on another console just feels, I don't know, wrong somehow? As completely flawless as the Game Gear was, there's just no way it could live up to the level of quality of the original. It's like how that other handheld had a lot of ports and demakes that didn't pan out so well, but that thing had the excuse of being in like 3 colors, while the Game Gear could handle up to 32, thus mathematically making it the superior handheld. But let's be honest, even a halfway decent version of Streets of Rage 2 is still gonna be fun. And the box art is just absolutely lovely. It is 90s through and through, showing off Axel, Blaze, Skate. Wait, where the heck is Max? He was the most overpowered character. Maybe the Game Gear just couldn't handle his muscles. A big-time favorite of mine heads to the battery-munching wonderbrick. Fists up, everyone, it's Streets of Rage 2. Sega! You gotta do that. Oh, yes. Oh, they got the music. 1 year after the battle. The city that had been plagued with crime and violence was safe and peaceful. Well, that's good. Okay, game over, I guess. However, the syndicate destroyed by the brave vigilantes resurrects its evil power. Oh no, if only there was some way I could solve this by punching. Okay, so Mr. X has kidnapped Adam from the first game, so we gotta save him. Come on, let's get to it. Streets of Rage 2. Oh, that looks good. Where is Max? Is Max seriously just not in this game? Wow, it actually looks just like the Genesis version. I mean, the menu anyway. Yeah, Max is just not here. That's a shame. Alright, so we still got Axel, Blaze, and Skate. Blaze is the all-rounder, Axel hits a little harder, Skate is the speedy one. Let's go with Axel. That sprite down there is not that bad, actually. Let's do this. Alright, let's hear the music. Alright, the music is pretty good. Not as good as the original. This is one of my favorite gaming soundtracks ever, but pretty alright. Do the enemies? Aw, the enemies don't have health bars. That was one thing I already liked about the original. Button 1 to punch. And button 2 to jump. And you can punch garbage cans and pick up knives to throw. Just like in real life. There should be a way to do special moves. I believe it's forward punch. There it is. Axel has a 3rd special move. There it is. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool animation. Oh, he's got a pipe. It's controlling almost identically to the original, which is extremely impressive. I mean, obviously the Game Gear can handle anything. It's the Wonder System. Everyone loved it. I don't remember if it's that move that takes away health or if it's... Oh god. Well, the difficulty's still here. I will admit I'm a bit disappointed the breakdown isn't in this song. There's a part that goes... I just made the song come alive, I know. That's not the boss, but it is like a mini-boss in the first area. Oh, hey! Look who finally has a health bar. Your knife is now mine. Okay, they did a great job at bringing the music back. Like, especially due to the slightly limited musical hardware of the Game Gear, although it is, of course, perfect. It still sounds really good. Seriously, if you have not heard the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack for Genesis, look it up. It is probably the best soundtrack in gaming history. And I do not say that lightly. Uh-oh. Okay, there is a bit of a problem I'm noticing now, gameplay-wise. So, the original Genesis game gave you a tiny bit of a buffer when getting up so you could get back into the fight. This game doesn't have that. The enemies can just infinitely combo you like they were doing there with that slide. So that's actually a big problem, because you kind of need it. Ow! They can also throw you immediately. I'm gonna have to look into this, but I will bet you that this game is shorter than the Genesis version. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I literally cannot do anything. Is it over? No, I'm gonna continue. But we're gonna be Blaze. I believe they pumped the difficulty up, but in exchange, the game is probably shorter, has less levels. In fact, let me look at that right now. One sec. Yep, this game only has 6 stages. The original has 8. Unfortunately, they did the bad kind of difficulty pump up, where they just made it more annoying to play. It's not so annoying that I want to stop playing, though, if that's something. Alright, this is like, there's a lot of characters in this game who start as mini-bosses, and then become regular enemies late game. Hadouken, by the way. Yeah. The name of this song is Never Return Alive, which is amazing. They really tried, and I gotta give them props for that. Where's the boss? It's like a large mustache. There he is. Oh, look at that gorgeous hunk. Oh, did they not render his multiple life bars? Bosses later have like 5 to 6 life bars. I guess they just don't put that in here. Skate! It's your turn. You can tell that he's Skate by the way that he skates. Okay. Or he just gets launched head first. Ow. I might still lose this. No, we got it. Okay. Stage 1 clear. We're going to the bridge. No, we're not. We're going to the amusement park instead. Okay. I guess the bridge is one of the levels they took out. So, this game is flawed. The difficulty is a little ridiculous. This game definitely has its problems, but you know what? Converting Streets of Rage 2, one of the best games ever, to handheld, they did a pretty good job. Pretty good job. Not flawless, but honestly, I'd say about as well as they could have. I just wish they'd dropped the difficulty a little bit. Just not much. You can still punish me like you are right now, but you know, just enough to make me feel. Ooh, that was a creepy way to put it. It's games like this that made the Game Gear the most beloved handheld in gaming history. I said at the start that it was going to be difficult to surpass the original Streets of Rage 2, and of course it didn't do that. But honestly, I was quite impressed with how well this game ended up being on the handheld. Well, apart from one issue, which we'll get to later, the graphics were pretty nice, a solid scaling down of the appearance while retaining the colorful vibrance of the original. Control-wise, it was also surprisingly tight in a good way. Moving, jumping, and attacking all felt responsive and fluid, which is not something that's usually guaranteed for a handheld port. And in the most important category of all, the music was quite great, taking the iconic OST of Streets of Rage 2 and successfully turning it into a less detailed but still recognizable version of itself. The game really did a lot right. But there is one thing the game did wrong: the difficulty. Streets of Rage 2 is a hard game. However, by removing the minor invincibility frames that you get when standing up, the difficulty was ratcheted up significantly, and it meant enemies could endlessly combo you to death. It definitely is not unheard of for handheld games to drop the number of levels but crank the difficulty up to increase playtime, but this is the bad kind of difficulty, the kind that means that it can just take all of your lives from you if it felt like it. It's certainly not enough to ruin the game, but definitely made it a heck of a lot more frustrating to play than it should have been. The game does have its problems, and at the end of the day, I recommend the Genesis version over this one. But as for the Game Gear version, it's not bad at all. If you can handle the frustration, then you have yourself a solid beat-em-up game for the greatest handheld ever made. Oh, and by the way, happy April 1st, everybody! And that's all for another episode of Game Gear Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Gear catacombs. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.